Hi, it's Lori Neverman from Common Sense Home, and today we are going to show how to make a self-watering container from an old Rubbermaid tub. Now, my sons actually did most of the prep work here for this before I started recording, but he didn't want to go on camera. So I'm going to go through the parts that go into it and the assembly and how you care for your plants once they're in it. What we have here is an old Rubbermaid tub. I picked this up at Goodwill for about $3. And then into the bottom, I'm gonna pull this out. We actually take the lid of the container and cut it down so it fits and nests inside the tub. And then on the bottom of that, you want to take 2x4s and attach those as feet, because the bottom of your basin down beneath this area is going to be where the water sits. Now, so the plants can access that water, you want to add a soil foot, and you can use a little basket or anything else that's reasonably sturdy and has holes for the water to flow through. In this case, we've used an old nursery pot that I had rolling around. And I'm going to take that and set that in there. Where did I grab my duct tape? And you don't want your soil going into the bottom, so I do want to seal this off. Let's see if I can do that fairly neatly. Oh, I better double check and make sure I'm getting it at the right height. Yep. Okay, my leg is the bottom of the container, or at the bottom of the feet, and the pot is also lined up on my leg. And for demonstration purposes, I'm doing this up here, but you could certainly do it down in your basin. Or if you're really slick and measure precisely and it fits neatly, you may not have to patch with duct tape. Just make it work. Does not have to be an artistic masterpiece, unless you're so inclined. Yeah. And duct tape, of course, is sticky even when wet, and it has the light side and the dark side, and it holds the universe together. Okay, and you'll notice here that this corner is cut out, and that is for the watering tube. I'm going to pull this up here. In the corner, we have a pipe, PVC pipe, and you could use bamboo or whatever you happen to have available. And there's burlap on the top of this and burlap on the bottom. And you actually pour your water into the top of this pipe. So use whatever size pipe you can reasonably use to get the end of your watering can in there. This is, I think, a 2-inch diameter pipe. And then that is strapped into the corner of the container. And once our soil is wet and properly wicking, then that's how you're going to water your plants. Also, you'll see there's a hole here and a hole here. Those sit right around the same height as this foot, or actually just above this height of this foot, so that when the water comes above the foot level, it'll naturally drain out the side, so you can't overwater your plant. The water stays down in the reservoir, and the plants just dip into it as needed. Okay, I'm going to set this down and get ready to assemble this. And it's a little bit shy on this side, so I'm going to apply a little bit more duct tape to make sure that our soil stays up where it needs to be. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. He won't come on camera and claim it, but it's close enough to make it work. And you want to keep your soil up on top of that foot. Remember, below this insert is where the water goes. The soil sits above that insert. So I'm going to take in and patch this up as needed to keep the soil up here. Dun, dun, dun. I think 2 more pieces are needed. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. All right, I think we are good there. And a patch here. And here. So now we have our watering pipe. Our platform is in the bottom, and now we fill the soil foot with moist dirt. I've had my potting soil here soaking, so I'm just going to label that in here. Whew. That is fragrant. It must be good for you. And you want that packed in because the water needs to be able to wick up through that foot. And the plants are going to send the deeper roots down into that little foot. All right, I've got that filled, and I'm going to grab the rest of the, or potting soil for the rest of it. Try not to make a huge mess. You have to ask yourself, you feel lucky. Yes, I do. Product placement. They did not pay me to endorse their soil, but I would. Because it makes my plants happy. And a little bit more here. You want to keep in mind, if you're planning to move this at all, you don't want it completely full to the top. And you may want to add a little bit of mulch here too. Now I have another lid here that can act like our drip tray inside the house, so that if it does get overwatered, it'll get trapped in that lid for a little bit. Obviously, we're going to try to avoid that. But now, I'm going to wet this soil down, and I have some Swiss chard that we're going to put in here for the duckies. Well, us too, but the duckies are more important, right? And the duckies love Swiss chard. They love lettuce. They love leafy greens, and especially in the middle of winter, this is a nice option for them. So I'm going to moisten this soil and get these plants in here. And you can use your self-watering containers inside or outside, wherever you need them. And you want to make sure that initially you get your soil well moistened. So you want to top water initially, but then once your plants get established and get a chance to go down and set those roots a little deeper, then they should be able to reach that reservoir through the soil foot with their longer tap roots, and you can just top off the reservoir, say once a week. Okay, I think we're doing pretty good here. Mix that around just a little bit more. And I think I may overcrowd my plants just a little bit because we're going to keep harvesting these for greens rather regularly because the duckies love their Swiss chard. They love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I'm going to pop in 6 plants. And we do have sections on the site about starting transplants from seed. I think the article is Common Sense Home / starting seed indoors. If you need more information on how to do that. And you want to, when you're transplanting, make sure to loosen this root ball up just a little bit. I don't know if you caught that as I was setting these guys in, so I wanted to make sure to mention that. Otherwise, especially a lot of times when you get greenhouse plants, their roots will start to spiral around inside the container after they've been sitting on the shelf a while. Whoop. They're sharing. Not very well, I might add. So they'll start to spiral around inside the container, and then if you don't loosen them a little bit when you put them in the garden, they just keep going around in that same pattern. They do not shoot roots down into the watering reservoir, or the soil foot in the watering reservoir, where they need to be. Okay, everybody settled in? Little plants. Welcome to your new home. All right. You are floppy, stop that. Okay, and there you have it. Self-watering container out of an old tote. You can do the same type of thing with nested 5-gallon buckets. Just, make sure to put your platform in the bottom with your soil foot, and then the watering conduit up the side. And that's all there is to it. If you can find these secondhand, used, whatever, you can get the whole thing done for under 10 bucks. And if you try to find these self-watering containers in the garden centers, they tend to be significantly more expensive than that. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below.